Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Ask a Muso, brought to you by Jim's Cleaning, Butterham South. Today I've got Sarah on the other end of the line, and we're talking all things drums and what she's up to at the moment musically with bands and the like. So say hello, Sarah, and tell us a bit about yourself.
Hey mate, how you going? So I'm Sarah and I play drums. I'm 27, going on 28, so shit end of the stick. Grew up in Tassie, now living in Melbourne, been here for 6 years, I think. So yeah, that's a little bit about me, I guess.
Fantastic. Now, as I'm sure anyone who's got a couple of eyes will be able to notice, we're wearing similar clothes today. So we connected through the Big Sound Percussion sort of family, and I suppose I'll start there. So how long have you been involved with Steve and the group?
Probably, I reckon maybe about 6 months now. I think around 6 months, so still pretty fresh. But what a good family. That's all I can say. Steve's a legend. All the guys are awesome, supportive, so loving it.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I got involved sort of at the end of last year, and we over Christmas and all that we talked and did all the process, and then so since the beginning of this year, I was sort of looking to step things up, maybe since I just moved to Queensland, and sort of step things up and try put my name out there, and just you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I figured I'd put my name out there, and Steve was really fantastic, and everyone's been awesome, especially in the group chat. Everyone's willing to help each other out, and talk tactics, and obviously buy and sell where possible with things, and sort of maybe encourage us to things that we probably shouldn't have bought, but encourage them because why not? So I definitely relate to that. It's a good group we've got there. So what's your drum setup? So like sticks wise, like what sticks do you use?
So when I'm practicing or I'm playing like a lighter style of music, I go for the 5As. But my go-to live would be the 5 AAs, just because they got a bit more length, a bit more beef about them, which is cool.
Yeah, I actually use the 5 AAs as well. I was playing the Vic Firth Extreme 5As. I think it was by accident, actually. I found them in a shop, and the way the shelvings were, I just picked whatever I believed was, the label was there and the sticks were above, or it was the other way around. So I ended up picking those ones, and I was like, these feel longer. And yeah, I haven't gone back since, because I was doing a lot of jazz stuff, and with cross stick, I could do rim shots and not hit my fingers, because I had many a blister and like black nail from rim shots and hitting your nails, and that's a sad day. Yeah, no, that is a big no. But what about the rest? What are you playing on? What kit wise? Because I know we've discussed that you've been doing the silent stroke pads whilst you've been sort of limited for noise ability. So what kit do you play, and sort of what are you up to?
Cool. So normally when I'm playing live or jamming, I've got like a Mapex Armory, which is cool. And so I play with a 22-inch kick, 14-inch tom, 16-inch floor tom, and a 12-inch rack tom. So just a pretty small setup. But currently, my snare that I use, my go-to snare is a SJC. It's a Josh Dunn style snare, which is cool. The crowd snare, I think it's called. Yeah. So, but my practice setup, I've got a Mapex Tomahawk with a silent stroke head on it, which is cool. And I've sort of built my kit. It's kind of a hybrid setup, which is cool. So it's my 14-inch floor tom, which I've converted into a kick.
Awesome.
And that's got a silent stroke head on it, which is cool. And then I've got my 12-inch setup as a floor tom and a 10-inch rack tom as well, all with silent stroke head. So it's real small. It's good because I'm in an apartment. So
that works really well. So, that's actually a really sick setup. So I'm actually keen to potentially do something like that, just because I could limit what I've got to a setup, but just the kick drum's the biggest thing. A 22 by 20 is just too large for a small place, and if I could just get like a little pygmy one, that'd be awesome. But what do you think about the silent strokes? Do they feel like an electric kit? Because I've never played them before, but I know people that have. And like, is it like an electric kit in the way that it's bouncy, or?
A little bit, not to that extreme though, because I did have a electric setup before with mesh heads. It definitely feels more real. Like it's not the same as a drum head, but it's probably as close as you'll get, I reckon.
Oh, see, that's fantastic.
They're great.
And you also have the is it the Zildjian hats, the Zildjian silent hats?
Yeah, so I've got Zildjian silent hats. I'm endorsed by Soultone, but they obviously don't have any silent. cymbals. So
That was like me. I was thinking about potentially getting something like silent pads or whatever, because I was chewing through rods at home in my townhouse. So like my setup is like two houses where we share a middle wall and then a gap, and then two houses share a middle wall. So no matter which room I picked, I was going to share a middle wall with one of the houses. So I've now switched into this room, and that's my shared wall. And I face it this way. But yeah, I was, because I can't, obviously, I don't know, there's no Big Sound rods. So Steve, if you're watching, when you watch this, mate, Big Sound rods. That's Big Sound rods is what we're going for. But yeah, and I found they're pretty good because I don't have to change my setup. I don't have to retune things, and I can hit pretty hard and not get much result, which is sort of the vibe that I was aiming for. But yeah, I was chewing through them too quick. That was the only thing. I was just chewing through them too fast, and because you're still hitting regular like rim shots and things, and they chew away like toothpicks, and you find you got a bunch of toothpicks all over the floor after band practice. But yeah, no, at the moment I've decided that I'm doing short bursts of like half an hour and just playing proper and recording stuff out and putting content out. So you've had a lot of content coming out at the moment. So tell us about the band.
So my band, we're called Analogue Hope, and we just put out our debut EP on Thursday, which is pretty cool. Very excited about that. We've released a line of merch, and that's sold super quick as well, which is amazing. So putting all towards the next lot of recording.
That's fantastic. Oh, really happy with that.
Which is cool. And yeah, we're really keen to get back into shows, because obviously that kind of got cut short. We'd had a few tours lined up, so that's a bit of a shame, postponing them obviously. So
yeah, no, that does suck. I'm definitely in the same boat with that. It's more like a lot of people had nothing, and they were like in the maybe the getting ready for it, and that's a shame, because you were like really building up. But when you actually have stuff, like we had so many things lined up, and I'm sure you would have had lots of things lined up, especially to follow up the music. But for Total Radio Science, for Analogue Hope, it's been handy that you already had the music ready to go, so at least we've had something to put out. And the record's a good record, so give it a spin. I'll put up the album cover here, and I'll put a link in the description. So it's a good record. You should definitely give it a spin, because you know who's drumming on it. So drumming wise, or musically in general, where did it all sort of start for you?
Well, music, I've been around it since I was in nappies, probably. Like my grandmother had a piano set up in her house, and I would always run up to that. There's a picture of me pretty much naked with just a nappy on, trying to reach up and play the piano. So that's kind of where it started. Mum got me some lessons when I was in primary school, so which was cool. And from there, kind of, I guess in high school, I was like just drawn to the music room all the time, and I tried a few different instruments. So I taught myself guitar. I even tried the trumpet. Wasn't very good at it, so I gave that one up pretty quick. Then just jumped straight on the drum kit, and that's where it started. But when I moved to Melbourne, that was about 6 or 7 years ago now, I think. I hadn't touched a kit for ages. So one of my best friends, James, he's a drummer as well, so he got me back into it. Here we are, a couple of years later. So
you had not necessarily a purposeful, but an unintentional hiatus for a while, and then just sort of got brought back into the vibes of playing the kit again.
Yeah, that's it. I reckon I hadn't played for maybe like 8 or 9 years.
Oh wow, that's a while.
And like back in high school, I was self-taught. Like I never had any lessons. So it's been good that my mate was teaching me for a while, and then I now get lessons with Dan Kerby, who's a legend. So yeah, he's been helping me out a lot, improve my playing.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Well, that's fair enough, because I see your covers and things like that popping up from the academy and things. So tell us about what's involved with that, because I know there's a few of the guys like Daniel and stuff like that in the BSP fam, as well as just across the board, that are involved with him. So tell us sort of what's involved in that, because I'm curious to know sort of what the vibe is with Dan like that.
Cool. So Dan's a massive legend. He's the most cruisy guy I think I've ever met. So I guess in terms of lessons with him, I was just like, I just love to get lessons with someone. And I sort of already followed him on Instagram for a bit. And I was like, oh, you know what? Why not? I'll just email him, see what happens. Literally within 2 minutes, he got straight back to me and was like, I'll call you tomorrow. And so that's how I walked in the door there about, when was that? End of 2018, I think.
Oh, fantastic.
yeah, so then started working through just like basic sheet work, like rudiments, all that kind of stuff. And then he was like, yeah, I do videos as well. So started doing that. I just go in, I rock up, set up, and yeah, a couple of takes, done. That's a video.
Yeah, see, that's fantastic. See, I love that. I think that's where I miss it. I did mine at like a music school, at a music shop, and I started off like with my rudimentary stuff with an older guy called Alf, and he was awesome and sort of really taught me the basics to get an understanding of things. And then when my later teacher Sam took over, he's now a Remo player and endorser of Ludwig, so he's busy doing lots of stuff, and he's actually left-handed, and it took me until probably grade 6 when I started with him, or year 7 when I started with him, before I actually realized there was a left-handed way to play. Like, full disclosure, I didn't actually realize there was a left-handed way to play drums, and I think he opened my eyes up a lot more to structures and important formulas, things like that I'm sure Dan's working on with you, but also how to learn a song, not how to learn this song, how to learn songs, and like those sort of fundamentals and playing for the song. And I feel like unless you have it, or you know people that have it, you can't learn that. Like, you just can't learn that, because you'll hear this track and you'll go, cool, look at all this empty drum space. I know how to do these 10 chops. Let's do all 10. And you need someone to pull you back and to say, no, I actually play in a band, or I do something like that. And that's a big thing for me, is I had a guy that was playing in lots of bands, making music, doing things, touring. He's done lots of stuff at the moment, a couple of bands, really busy. And obviously Dan Kerby's extremely busy, and for those who don't know, you should obviously have a look and see what he does and what he's been up to, especially of late. So there's plenty going on there, and I feel like when you get someone who's super authentic and is doing it for real, you get just a far more valuable experience, learning-wise.
Oh, that's it. Like, I mean, obviously I reckon Dan's most recent thing would have had to have been the solo we did with Ben Gordon from Parkway. Like, that was killer. And I think what's great about that is he's just like, let's just do it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a lesson that I've learnt from him in terms of like even just applying for bands or for endorsement opportunities and stuff. Like, just do it. Worst I can say is no. So
exactly. And I learnt that worst I can say is no vibe very quickly after I got a few yeses, but at the same time, the types of no's. Like, I've had no's, they go, oh, look, thank you, but just here's sort of the reasons why, and then you get people who never reply, and you go, like, there's someone who plays in a well-known Australian band, and I, won't drop him in it, but I was pretty disappointed, a little bit of a don't meet your heroes moment with the response I got, the response I didn't get from them, for just pretty much speaking as nonchalantly as I would have spoken with Steve, just thinking, oh, he's an Aussie drummer, he's approachable, he's a dad, this will be cool, and crickets. So, it just really depends. It's if you've got enough time to read the email and go, no, I don't think so, you've got enough time to get on the computer and say, no, I don't think so.
Oh, big time. Yeah.
And the opposite. Like, especially with someone that you would have thought was a bit, whoa, he's pretty unapproachable, perhaps with DK, but not the case at all, because, same as me and Steve, like, you think about, and yourself, you think about when you go, oh, Big Sound Percussion, let's see if we can get something happening there, and then he talks to you on the phone and goes, g'day, how we doing? And it's...
Oh, it's crazy. Like, especially like someone as busy as DK, 2 minutes, and I got a response. And it was just like, that's amazing.
Yeah. And you got together with him today. Like, was it a digital thing like this? Is that what you did with him today?
Nah, so I did a drum cover. So
oh, okay, yep, okay. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, he's still letting me use the studio, which is quite nice. But yeah, most of his stuff is online, so...
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, he's got a great setup.
Well, it's cool that he's still doing it.
Oh, big time. He's got a great setup in there at the moment for his online lessons.
Oh, well, that is actually pretty cool then. So obviously you don't have things happening right at the moment, but so what sort of the next steps for you and Analogue Hope and like with Soul Tone and Big Sound Percussion stuff? Like, what are your plans? What are your desires for? Well, or what are you planning on hustling on at least whilst we wait for things to blow over?
Well, I am working on some drum covers at the moment, which I'm just, putting together bits and pieces on my practice rig, which is cool. So as soon as we're allowed back out of the house, basically, I'm going to go full force with that. I'm working with another mate who does video content as well, so he's going to put a few different things together for me. So I've got that in the works. And in terms of the band, we're just going to get straight back into writing. I know that Locke and Jamie have been writing guitar parts already, so there's a few kind of skeleton songs already there, I guess. And yeah, definitely more shows. We want to tour, more recordings. And yeah, so we're just going to go full force.
Yeah, just putting the work in now whilst you can on the things you can do. And that's what I've been trying to do, is the things that I can do, and it's sort of what birthed the idea to do this, is to just connect with other musos and things like that, and catch up on people, and to say, hey, I haven't forgotten that you had that thing come out, and what are you doing at the moment? And I suppose in some respects, if you're not up to much, maybe it's a bit of a, okay, well, I actually play drums, so I could do that at home. Just maybe a bit of a, yeah, let's get off the couch and let's try something else. Let's stop watching Netflix and maybe let's hustle to do something else.
That's it. And I mean, even if you are sitting on the couch, all you got to do is put a practice pad on the coffee table.
Exactly. That's the thing. Everyone goes, well, like, our instrument's very big, obviously, but there's plenty of ways we can noodle around and make it work.
Oh, exactly. And I think one of the main things I've really noticed since I'm not gigging and not just like slamming stuff out on the kit is that I've been able to sit down and be like, all right, I'm going back to basics and working through my rudiments and getting them tight. And then, that's just already improved my playing just by doing that. So
I couldn't agree more. I resurrected this out of the cupboard the other day.
The Bible.
One of many Bibles, were the Midish to New Testament, and like just some of the older stuff, just some of the rhythmic playthroughs. The hardest thing's been, I don't own anything in the house that has a disc drive.
Oh, I know.
I actually had to ask my my best mate, because his I'm pretty sure his brother has a computer that has a disc drive, or he has access to one. I had to get him to, because he has the exact same book, he had to send me the files and had to burn the disc, because I was like, I realized I've got nothing, I can't do anything with it. Like, so that was the only thing that's been a pain. But yeah, rhythmic summaries and stuff to warm up on, and it's just super handy to have.
That's it. Come on, Frank, get a download code going on.
Exactly. He needs the download code. I will prove the book. I'll send him a picture. I need the download code, boys, because I just realized I just don't have anything. Like, computer, I got a Mac Mini, I got a MacBook Pro. I don't have anything else. Like, I don't have anything else that runs a disc anymore. So I've just been in Struggle Town trying to figure it out. But yeah, it's been handy to just go through that and have another squiz through there. Thanks for having a chat with me. I just, anything before you go, just what do you want to plug? Like, what are you going on? Like, socials, the band. What do you want to plug? And I'll put some stuff up here, and I'll put some stuff in the description for you.
Cool. I reckon probably just my YouTube channel is where it's gonna be pumping straight after all this. Still got a couple of things lined up that I'm gonna put out over probably the next week or so. So stay tuned for that. Just trying to grow the socials a bit and just keep putting out fun content, and I'm just hoping that it gives everyone else a bit of inspiration to get to work over this quiet period. So
yes, definitely the inspiration factor of, like, when I see people doing stuff, like people that aren't they don't have purposeful studios and all the money in the world, people that are at the same level, and I go, oh, look, you're doing that, and I rate that. That makes me want to get up and do something, and I rate that. So yeah, so your Instagram handle,
Crets_drums10. I think that's it.
I wasn't going to jump in, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. Yep.
But yeah, if it gives people a bit of a drive, that's good, because I'm generally a bit of an introvert. So like starting a channel was a bit of a move for me. So yeah, I mean, if I can do it, then anyone can do it, I reckon. So
yeah, I reckon. So yeah, exactly. You may as well. No one's stopping you right now, and I suppose now's the time for introverts to give it a go and see how things go. And then when it all blows over, we'll be doing stuff. And I got plans to head down back to Victoria to see friends and stuff, and we'll catch up and we'll do something.
I'd be keen to catch up for sure.
Yeah, when we can do that. Yeah, well, thank you so much for sharing the time with me, Sarah. It was good to pick your brain on some things, have a bit of a chat.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, not a problem. Well, enjoy what you're doing at the moment, and I'm keen to see it all happening on the socials, and I'll make a big song and dance about it when it comes out. So,
legend.
That's all good. So just make sure you hit up the band as well, Analogue Hope, and give it a spin for her. That'd be really awesome. So thanks for joining me. That's another episode of Ask a Muso. It was awesome to have you on, and I'll be doing another one of these next Tuesday. So make sure you follow me on YouTube every Tuesday. Hit the bell and the subscribe if you want to be notified when they come out. So until next time, I'll see you later.